Hi everybody! As you may have noticed, I went to Europe this past summer, specifically in June, where I went to London, Paris, and Iceland for about 2.5 weeks, and let me just say right now, that trip was one in a lifetime. I am still in shock, and I have the travel bug right now, and on my trip, I was thinking of videos or things to do to show y'all what I did in Europe, and I did. That's why I created some previous videos that you may have noticed, like in my traveling area. But also, I noticed I should be making a tip video for things to know and things to be aware about when you're traveling in Europe or when you're packing or whatnot. So I wrote in my notebook some tips for you to know when you're traveling. So for the first one, when you're staying in Europe or anywhere abroad, my sister was very fortunate. She looked up a site called Airbnb where we stayed in a flat, and it's awesome for groups. It's a lot more cheaper to do Airbnb than a hostel even or a hotel. It saves you like quite a bit of money, and I was shocked. Like I only paid for, I think a week in London was about $150 or $200 for that whole week, and if I went to a hotel or hostel, it might have been double the price, which is a shocker. Maybe some hostels are a little bit more cheaper, but we got a great deal on an Airbnb. That's a tongue twister. Airbnb. And essentially we stayed in Ladbroke Grove, I believe, in the London area. So that was uber cool. We were next to Notting Hill, so it was pretty awesome. And then for making sure that you're traveling about, you need to have money on you. In London, I was fortunate enough that I had money on me. So I carried around, I think, 50 pence to a pound on me. And when you have that money, you need to use it for the toilets, because the public restrooms there, you get charged 50 pence, which is kind of ridiculous, but I'm not sure where it goes. Probably to the Queen or taxes. I have no clue, but better safe than sorry, right? So always carry a few pounds on you when you're in London. In Paris, I didn't experience that. It was kind of like you got to use the restroom when you saw it, but mainly I went in McDonald's or any museums that offered bathrooms, or of course in my flat when I was there. And when you're using the restrooms, they do not have any toilet seat covers. I don't know why Europe doesn't have toilet seat covers. Maybe, I really don't know. Proper hygiene? Who the hell knows? I don't. I just had to squat a lot when I was in Europe. It was kind of crazy. I was thankful when I came to Boston. I was like, oh, toilet seat covers. Amazing, right? Alright, and then for the touring around in London and Paris, I suggest doing the big bus tour, especially in London. It was amazing. Our tour guides were so knowledgeable. They were seeing all these fun facts which was not even on the freaking tour. I was like, whoa, that's the tallest building here. Whoa, there's a London Dungeons, what is this? In Paris, it was not so much the greatest. I mean, I felt like we were stopping a bit more than actually sightseeing, but London, it was so worth it. You got to hop on and off everything, and I got to experience so much within like 6 hours, and I pretty much saw the whole like main city of London. It was really great. I was thoroughly impressed with that big bus tour. And I'm not sure about the pricings, but it's really good to do with a group. There might be student discounts, but I kind of forgot about that. I know there was a student discount when I did Stonehenge, Salisbury, and Bath. There was a student discount, and that was actually an awesome tour to do in England. I was amazed about the history. I was completely in awe of everything. I couldn't believe so much history was in like different buildings. As for the nightlife in London, I really enjoyed the pubs, especially the ciders. The ciders there are amazing. If you think America has good quality, when you go overseas, it's completely different. It tastes so much better, and the flavors are so rich. I loved it. And also the people there are very friendly, and there's actually some good deals some places, like in Hammersmith. I forgot the exact pub, but there were shots for 2 for £5, which is really inexpensive. So you have to look around and find the right pubs and talk to locals. I suggest talking to the locals. The tube is amazing. It's efficient, and it's so easy because I pretty much only know English, and it is English on the dang tube map, and I was like, oh, amazing, so efficient. And my sisters did help me because I do get lost easily, not gonna lie. And the tube was so great to use, and I loved it. The only thing is, it stopped after like I think 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. I forgot which one was the last tube out. But there are 24/7 buses out there, which is pretty great, especially if you're going out partying. And I was like, take advantage of the situation. So get that Oyster card where you can swipe through everything and use the 24/7 bus and the tube. The metro in Paris, yeah, it was efficient. It was a bit more crowded than the tube at some points of the day, but different countries, different times, different places, so huge difference. Right? And as for like the last activity I mainly did in London, I did the Royal Ascot. That was pretty cool. We went on a cold day, which was unfortunate, but I loved it. We got to dress up, and I wore a nice white dress that was a baby doll looking, very lace and chic. Got to wear a fascinator, some low pumps. Everyone looked so lovely. It was a great experience. Just next time when I go, maybe hopefully get like a royal enclosure, maybe get an invitation hopefully. Maybe the queen might invite me, who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll get invited one day. But it was awesome. It was cool seeing the horses race and seeing the queen. It was a great experience. And then for another attraction I did, which was in Paris, it was the Eiffel Tower. It was great, but in honesty, I prefer the Sacred Heart Cathedral. That's the English version. I can't see the French version of it, but Sacred Heart Cathedral had a way better view than the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower, it was nice, but it was a bit too much of a hype than what I expected. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. So, Sacred Heart Cathedral had the best views, and it's free to go in and also to walk up the stairs. It was magnificent. The catacombs, it was pretty cool. I was a bit scared to go down there because I had a short of breath in there, and I was getting freaked out. There's over 6 million skulls and dead bodies down there, and you're seeing them, and I had a short of breath, but overall it was a pretty cool experience. I mean, it was worth the money. It was super cheap and affordable. I think it was like less than 15 euros to go in for a person, or 10, which is pretty cheap. But the line is uber long. I mean, we were in line for 3 hours, and the first hour, it was before it even opened. That's how crazy it was. It's small, but it's mind-blowing in there. It's pretty chilly, but it's cool. The museums, for the museums, I highly suggest getting the City Pass for that, especially for the Louvre. The Louvre had a long line if you did not have the City Pass. The City Pass was great to use because you cut the line pretty much, and the Louvre is huge, mind-blowing huge, especially if you're trying to see the main attractions like Mona Lisa or Aphrodite statue or different things. It was pretty grand, and I mean, I felt like I was in paradise in there looking around. I felt like you can spend 3 days in there and still get lost. Who knows? But the museum, they were pretty cool. I really liked the Louvre a lot. So for Versailles, I really liked it a lot. It was so beautiful. I felt like I was in heaven. Marie Antoinette's palace was gorgeous. I just couldn't believe it. It was gold everything. The Hall of Mirrors was super pretty. And especially if you went to Marie Antoinette's little village, you had to walk a ways. Like, you had to walk past the maze and walk through different routes to get to the garden slash the town. It was unbelievable, and she like recreated like little houses, and oh, it was so cute. Like, it kind of reminded me when I watched the Marie Antoinette movie. When I saw it in real life, I was like in complete shock, and I was kind of fangirling. I was like, so pretty. But it's a long walk, so please do not wear sandals. That's a big tip. Don't wear sandals if you're trying to walk to her little village and the garden, because your feet will die and you will internally or maybe externally cry. Who knows? I kind of did both. And then the last thing in Paris that I enjoyed a lot was the food. The food and the pastries. Oh my god. Pretty much every single time you went off the metro or just turned around on the block, you got food. It was kind of bad. Like, I gained weight during my Paris trip. You're supposed to lose weight. I did maintain and lose in London, but when I went to Paris, I had like literally French macarons and baguettes and cheese and salami and everything in sight, like at least 3 times a day. I really liked Angelina's patisseries. I liked them a lot. And then there was a couple of other places, but the baguettes there were pretty cool. And the fun fact is, I'm not sure if you know this, but McDonald's actually sells French macarons there. I was like, what? What is this? This is so cool. I was really intrigued, and they actually tasted really well. So a good tip if you're kind of on a budget but want some affordable macarons, go to McDonald's. It's pretty cool. But they don't do refills on sodas, which is weird and sad. I went to Iceland, so I only went to the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. It was pretty cool. I liked it because it was very refreshing and it was like a spa. And you got to relax and just close your eyes and imagine yourself in a different place or in the place because you were pretty much living in a heated area. I loved it a lot because you got to relax and just enjoy the whole view. And Iceland was super green and very fresh and crisp. I really want to go back and actually travel for maybe a day or two there, maybe a weekend at the most. I'm still trying to convince myself to do that, to see more attractions. Hopefully I will do that someday. For my last piece of advice, I have to say, pack light. Me, I was kind of dumb. I packed a large suitcase full of a lot of clothes I didn't even use, especially because the flats I went to had a washer and a dryer. That was really dumb on my part. You should just bring a duffel bag. I'm not even joking, a duffel bag. And if you're a girl and you want to use makeup, just bring a small bag. I mean, I was smart. I brought in like a small makeup bag. I actually used all the makeup I brought in, but it was a heavy load. So I had one large suitcase, a duffel bag, and a small little backpack. It was a lot. I think I'm just gonna take a duffel bag and a small backpack when I go back to London in this coming December. So that's the smartest idea. Next is to always carry your passport. Your passport is the key to everything around Europe. If you don't have your passport, you're pretty much SOL. Have fun. Go with the flow. You know what? If you lose some pounds here or euros there, it's worth it in the end because you're having fun and that's all that matters, and you don't go overseas all the time, right? No, probably not. So just have fun, splurge on yourself, and enjoy Europe or anywhere that you go abroad besides America. Right? I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to my channel. And to always remember to think of glitter.